Hi everyone, welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about some tips and tricks if you're just getting started playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. How did I come across a Nintendo Switch, you ask, in these times? I got it on Craigslist, okay? From a gentleman named Chad who biked it over to my house. So, thank you, Chad. Now I can play Animal Crossing all day long because I have nothing better to do. So, these are some things that I learned just by playing, by Googling things that I wish I knew before I started. I'm going to be sharing these with you today. I'll leave some timestamps in the description box if you're looking for something specific, but let's go ahead and get started. So when the game begins, you're obviously going to be moving to a deserted island with the help of your buddy Tom Nook. Tom's going to be getting you set up with a tent, some tools, and some advice about some things to do around the island when you first arrive. He's also going to politely remind you that you'll need to pay him back for the help that he provided you. And you'll be doing that through Nook Miles. Nook Miles are one of the main currencies that are used in the game. The other one is bells, and bells are basically like money, and Nook Miles are what you receive for performing tasks around the island. This can be fishing, catching bugs, digging up weeds, planting flowers, making DIY projects. There's a lot of things you can do to earn Nook Miles. You'll definitely want to earn the miles to pay him back ASAP, because once you do that, you will have the opportunity to buy a house. You'll definitely want to take out the loan to buy a house as soon as you can, because you'll notice pretty quickly that you can only hold a certain amount of objects in your pockets. And what a house provides you is not only more space to put objects in your house, but it also will provide you with a storage unit where you can go, drop off items, and then empty your pockets so that you can continue going around your island and other islands, picking up new goodies. So try to pay off those Nook Miles right away and get a house. Something else you should do right away is start bringing Tom Nook creatures that you find on the island, either fish or bugs, because he's going to want to send those creatures to his museum curator friend named Blathers. And once Blathers decides that your island is full of special creatures, he's actually going to move to the island. And once he does, he's going to allow you to have a shovel and a vaulting pole. So those are two very important tools that you do not start out with at the beginning of the game. You'll start out with a flimsy net, a flimsy fishing rod, and a flimsy axe. So you can do a couple things to start out with those tools, but you will need a shovel as soon as you can and a vaulting pole to get over the rivers on your island to explore the parts of the island that you can't get across without a bridge or a vaulting pole. So definitely bring Tom Nook any creatures you find right away, get Blathers to the island right away, and get your shovel, because your shovel is going to allow you to do a lot of really important things. So let's talk about tools. Obviously you have a flimsy axe, and the axe is used to get wood from trees. So you want to make sure once you actually are able to upgrade your tools when you're hitting trees that you are still using a flimsy axe or a stone axe, because if you use a real axe to try to get wood from trees, you'll actually cut down the trees, and you don't want to cut down every tree on your island because they do not grow back, and you won't be able to get any resources from them once they're cut down. Your fishing rod. This is pretty self-explanatory, but there are some fish in the game that have a really high price tag, so you definitely want to be able to fish as soon as you can. It's a great way to earn bells if you want to start buying things from the residential tent and also eventually paying off your home loan. Your flimsy net. Obviously this is used to catch bugs. Some of these bugs do have a high price tag if you sell them, but you can also donate them to the museum. Another thing that I learned you can do with your net is actually catch wasps. If a wasp net drops out of a tree while you're shaking it, you can actually use your net to catch them. So make sure your net is out if you are shaking a tree to get anything out of it, because you can catch wasps and you can sell them. If you inevitably do get stung by a wasp, the best thing to do right off the bat is go visit one of your neighbors, because they will give you a DIY recipe for wasp sting medicine so you don't have to continue to buy it from the shop. Vaulting pole. Vaulting pole is also pretty self-explanatory. You can use it to get over the rivers on your island so that you can continue your exploration. Flimsy shovel. Flimsy shovel is going to be one of your best friends when you start out in Animal Crossing. Once you get your shovel, there's a ton of stuff that you can do with it. The best thing you can do with your shovel every day is go around your island and check for a glowing spot in the ground. Once you dig up this glowing spot, you will find a bag of 1,000 bells. And if you are strapped for cash, you can obviously collect the bells, put them in your pocket, but the best thing to do is actually replant this bag of money, because in a couple of days' time, it will turn into a beautiful money tree. Once your money tree is fully grown, you can shake the tree, collect your bells, and that will be the last time it's a money tree. It then will go back to being just a normal tree on your island. Getting the most out of your resource rocks. You'll notice at the beginning of the game that there's some larger boulders on your island. And when you're beginning, if you want to use a flimsy axe to hit the rock, that works just fine, but you'll definitely get the most out of your resource rocks by using a shovel. You can use the shovel to dig 2 holes behind yourself, and this allows you to actually hit the rock 8 times, which gives you 8 types of resources from this rock, which is really important. That's the highest amount of things that you can get out of a rock. And these rocks only give you resources once a day, so you definitely want to get the most out of them that you can. Another important thing to do before you start hitting the rock is actually dig up any weeds or flowers around the rock, because I will put a picture in here. As you can see, if you don't do that, resources will not be able to land in the spot where there are weeds. So make sure you dig up those weeds, patch the holes before you start hitting the rock. Another important thing to note while you are hitting resource rocks is to make sure your energy level is 0 out of 10. Some advice that you'll get throughout the game is to eat the fruit on the island to get energy, and this energy can help you dig up trees, it can help you cut down trees, but it will also make you break rocks the first time you hit them. So you definitely want to make sure you're at a 0 out of 10 energy level. And if you've already eaten fruit for the day and you want to drain your energy quickly, the best way to do this is by digging up a tree and planting it elsewhere. That will take down 1 bar of energy for each tree that you dig up. When you start out in the game, you might only find 1 resource rock on your island per day, and that will likely be a money resource rock. And if you hit it, you'll notice that all it spits out is bells, and that will likely be the first rock that you have on your island. So if you're looking for more resources, you might have to go off and visit other islands to get other resources from different rocks. Another thing you can do with your shovel is dig up clams on the beach. I at first thought that this was kind of useless, but the clams can be used for fish bait. And obviously, if you have fish bait, you can fish immediately. You don't have to run around your islands looking for fish. You just scatter the fish in the water and the fish come directly to you. Ladder. Your ladder is something you do not get right away. There are a couple of things you need to do first before you get your ladder, but obviously it helps you scale those cliffs to get up and explore more areas of your island and inevitably find more resources. So I talked about how to get your shovel and your vaulting pole, but how do you get your ladder? This was something that I struggled with and was frustrated by, but there are 2 things that need to happen in the game before you're able to get a ladder. The first one being you need to build a shop on your island. The shop will be called Nook's Cranny, and the second thing you need to do is invite 3 people to live on your island. So once you pay off your debts, Tom will ask you if you're interested in helping them build a store for the island called Nook's Cranny. And yes, you will want to say that you're interested in helping. And to do this, you'll need to gather a bunch of resources. You'll need hardwood, softwood, regular wood, and 30 iron nuggets, which are hard to come by. But if you do get good at hitting those resource rocks, you can get a lot of iron nuggets out of them. Once you hand in all the resources for the shop, they will go ahead and start building it. And you also will need to obviously visit other islands to invite people to live on your island. I found that you do have to talk to the people you find on other islands a couple of times before the game will allow you to offer them to move with you. So when you find a person on another island, make sure to talk to them a couple of times. They'll ask if they can move to your island and you will say yes. An important thing to note about visiting other islands is you want to empty your pockets completely except for essential tools before you go on your way. This is when the storage unit in your house comes in handy. Make sure you go home, drop off anything that you might not need before you go on your adventure. You will only be able to bring back what you can carry in your pockets when you go to another island. So make sure those pockets are completely empty except for your tools before you head out. Once the shop is built, and once Tom Nook realizes that there are 3 people who want to move to the island, he's going to put you in charge of building houses for them. This is when you will start to get your ladder. So once you go around and look for plots of housing for the new residents, once you put down the second plot, Tom Nook is going to call you and let you know that you'll need to go up on the cliffs to get some resources to build furniture for the new residents. And once he gives you the recipe for the ladder, you can build it and you'll be on your way. So that is it for the basics of Animal Crossing and the beginning stages of playing the game. Once you get new residents to move to your island, once you've built a shop, once you get all of those new tools that you've been pining for, you're going to be off to the next stages of the game. So these were kind of just the basics that you can start out with. I've found the IGN YouTube channel to be really helpful for more advanced tips. I'll put a link to their channel in the description box, but they have a ton of Animal Crossing videos if you are in that next stage of gameplay. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. You can give it a thumbs up if you did, and you can also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. And thank you so much for watching.